In this video, we will implement the validation of name input text element on the reactive form. I have opened another Visual Studio Code window which contains the Angular workspace of the example we implemented for template-driven form. As mentioned in one of the earlier video, we are going to reuse code from this implementation into our current reactive form implementation. In app.component.html, this is the section of code that implements name input text element with validation using template-driven form approach. I have also opened app.component.css from which we are going to reuse style definitions for validation error display. Coming back to app.component.html, I am copying the ng class attribute directive of the name input text element. This definition helps to apply red outline on the input text element when there is validation error. I am opening the reactive form window of Visual Studio Code and pasting it as an attribute of name input text element. Going back to the other Visual Studio Code window, I am copying the entire error div tag and pasting it after the input text element in the reactive form. Here the name input text element is referred using the name field template reference variable, which has to be changed to name. Hope you remember name refers to the form control object of name input text element, which we have obtained using the get function defined in app.component.ts. Notice that we have used name with optional chaining operator, hence question mark is required after name. I am going to change all name field to name question mark using replace option available in the edit menu. In the find section, I am going to type name field, and in the replace section, I am going to type name question mark. I am clicking on replace all option, which completes the replacement in all the places. After the replacement, we can see wherever we had name field, it is replaced with name question mark. The signup form template reference variable is the same for both the implementations, hence no change is required. With this, all the necessary changes in the HTML template is completed. The next step is to copy all the styles from app.component.css of template-driven form and paste it in the app.component.css of reactive form. With this, all necessary changes are completed for validation. I am saving both the files. After the page reload, I am going to test for all validation scenarios. First, I am going to test for touched property. I am clicking within the input text element and clicking outside the input text element. We can see the mandatory field error message is displayed, and we also see the input text element having a red outline to indicate validation error in that field. Next, to test the dirty property, I am refreshing the page. Within the input text element, I am typing some text and clearing it. We can see the mandatory field error message displayed. If I type less than 3 characters, we can see the minimum length validation message displayed. If I type a number or special character, we can see the pattern validation error message displayed. Whenever validation error message is displayed, we can see the red outline. Next, to test for submit property, I am refreshing the page and directly clicking on the submit button without entering data. We can see that it results in mandatory field error message. Once I type valid data, we don't see any error messages or red outline. With all this testing, it means that we have successfully implemented validation on the name input text element of a reactive form. Detailed explanation about how the code that we have copied and pasted works is already explained when learning template-driven form. If you are not familiar with the code copied and pasted, I would recommend to go through relevant videos in the template-driven form section. Based on the instructions provided in this video, modify necessary coding in your reactive form code and test if all the validations are working as expected.